Hey,
Yo,
everybody.
Tuesday, 2 Tuesdays in a row, or just 3 Tuesdays in a row, Jason. I don't know, but we're on
Three.
a hot
I think
streak.
we've set a record. It's three, and
We
we've
are
been close
on.
to being on time every time.
I know we're on a hot streak. All right, so welcome to the Crow's Nest. Jason and I are on today, 3 weeks in a row, and today's CVP, Christine Van Patten herself, sculptor extraordinaire, and a pretty good painter too, and a pretty good drawer of things, is joining us today. And so we're going to talk all things CVP, all things fun, Moonlight sculpting, and maybe some other stuff as well. How you doing, Christine?
Good. How are you?
So tell me, how did you come up with CVP?
I I didn't.
Okay,
No,
okay, all
Ron I think got tired of calling me by my full name, so he was just like,
right. Okay.
"Can I just call you CVP?" I'm like, "Sure, that's fine."
Okay. I kind of threw you there for a second. I'm sorry.
You did.
Hey, I want to give shout outs to Bob and Julie, of course. I think Bob and Julie, if I had to rank our most loyal viewers, and it's a long list, but I would
Oh,
put Bob and
most
Julie at the
definitely.
very
On
top.
as a matter of
I
fact, on most of the Reaper
Yep.
programs.
I don't care about those other programs.
They don't count.
Yeah, but Bob and Julie, love you guys. See rings on. I see clavicus. I see DS Sparrow 526. Mini Mommy. Hello. And then more Mobrock 0938. So we're kind of early and see some other folks jumping in too. But yeah, what have you been up to, Christine?
Um, I have been hard at work. We just launched a new set for my STL shop on my mini
Mm-hmm.
factory of these female Warforged characters.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there just wasn't a whole lot of female Warforged characters on the market that I could find, and I thought I wanted to do my own spin on it where they were kind of these Jetsons retro appliance inspired fembots.
Oh, cool. Cool.
So yeah, we did that, and then I released the bust that I did for ReaperCon last year,
Mm-hmm.
this
With
year,
the book?
um, with the book. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I after painting it, there were some things that I was not entirely happy with, and so I went back and fixed those things and made it better, and now that's available.
What? Yeah, yeah. So what? That's interesting because most sculptors don't also paint, and then so you made a production or a promo or I don't know, a work in progress almost. It seemed like print for yourself, and then you
Yeah.
painted that for the competition. In painting it, what did you end up seeing that you didn't see while you were sculpting it?
There were some things on the back of the book where the pages come in at the center,
Mm-hmm.
and it it didn't feel right. Like it wasn't flush the way I wanted it to be, and it didn't read like pages. It felt more just like random things that were stuck into the center. So I
Mm-hmm.
didn't like that. And then there was some parts on the back of the book that weren't flat like they should be. And the little piping around the edges, the details on the outside of the book, they were too thin. So when you printed it, there was just too much damage from the supports when you took the supports off.
Mm-hmm.
So I beefed those up so it'd be less damaged when you printed it.
Cool.
Just like minor
So,
things, but things that I'm kind of a perfectionist about, I guess.
Have you ever done that,
do you
Jason?
paint
Have
all
you
the
ever
models
looked
that you put
back?
up for sale, or an
I
exemplar
don't
of all the
paint
models?
them all. I don't paint them all. That's I should, but I don't.
I guess you could have somebody paint them all. Hmm.
Although I do poly paint a lot of times while I'm sculpting it, which gives me a good feel for like things that are difficult to get to or what when you're thinking about the composition and how the colors are going to flow throughout a model. When I paint it while I'm sculpting it, I can sort of keep those things in mind and add additional elements if something feels like there should be another green thing over here. I can add that while I'm sculpting it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That gives you a lot of freedom to change things so they're even more paintable then. That's great.
Yeah. And I think it's just fun. It's more fun to paint it when it's not all just one color, right?
Yeah,
Well, I
Tish,
don't
we
know.
actually
For me,
started.
that relieves me of having to make these terrible choices. So
Yeah,
just one
Tish.
color is good for me. I think I have a blue that I particularly like, and so most of my miniatures are blue.
Tish was surprised that we actually started on time today, so she thinks she missed something. And I don't think you missed anything, Tish.
No,
But thanks for jumping on.
no, you missed us being late though. Apparently,
No, we weren't late. We were.
no, but that's
I
what I
mean,
mean. I mean, we
yeah,
weren't
you
late this
missed
time.
you you missed us.
I
I
mean,
Oh,
get
if
it
hey,
that's
now.
Jack.
become
Sorry.
if that's become our thing, maybe we better build it back into the program.
I know, right? That fits right in with the reaperness of
It's
everything.
if it's a trademark now.
Yep.
Tish did that amazing Mad Hatter scene at ReaperCon this year, right?
She did. She did.
Yep.
That was the
Great.
cutest.
Yep. Trish cleaned up on the awards stand this ReaperCon. She's she has her some titles to defend next year.
Mm.
Yeah, she painted one of my little koalas for the Australian relief effort back when that was our main focus
Mm-hmm.
before
Yeah, I remember
the
that.
virus hit.
I know, right? Just if that was the only thing, it was horrible
Yeah.
enough.
Well, it was
But of
yeah, it was
course,
an important thing at the time, and then it got eclipsed
yep.
for sure. So Rings says, "When I grow up, I want to be a Christine Van Patten,"
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and then further clarifies that he wants to be as varied and talented as CVP.
that's
So I
very
don't know if
sweet,
there's room for
Rings.
more
Thank
than
you.
one Christine Van Patten, but probably
No.
the talent thing
I mean, we
might be a
have
little.
Derek.
It's true.
Mm.
That's true.
Derek is 10 times the painter I think I'll ever be.
Tell us a little bit about your art background because, we hear talented a lot and it's almost always a compliment, but I don't
Wait.
know that people, well, I don't know that people really understand sometimes how much goes into being talented. It's not just like a condition, it actually requires some work and study. So I was curious as far as what you've done as far as honing your art skills.
Yeah, I think most talent, I think there is some level of like innate ability or coordination that people have, um, and a desire or a tendency towards things. But I think 95% of all talent is just hard work and learning and failing and then learning from that failure.
Yep. Yep.
Um, I took every drawing class I could get my hands on when I was a kid, all growing up. I was homeschooled, so my parents let me do a lot of um, time painting and drawing. And they were always very supportive of all of my creative endeavors. I wrote songs and I did mural painting for a while, and I did all kinds of stuff when I was younger. And then I went to uh, University of Texas in San Antonio and got my bachelor's in fine art with a minor in art history. Um, with the fine art, it was more studio focused, so drawing and painting. But the art history was so interesting to me, I almost switched majors
Hmm.
because I really felt like understanding where all of these things came from and how they developed and how we got to where we are. It's a cohesive story, and once you understand that, then you can build on it. And I found that to be really, really valuable.
That's an excellent observation, I think.
But you went to art school too, right?
Yes, I spent a lot more time. I did some art school. I spent a lot more time in architecture and design classes, just because my degree kind of changed from uh, straight art into like advertising and architecture. But um, again, I liked a lot of the art history as well. It was something, and one of my particular types of art I like to study is archaeological art. So uh, everything from prehistoric art on is something that I spent a long time looking at. I still do, as a matter of fact. It amazes me sometimes. You'll look at a piece of amber or woolly mammoth tusk that someone carved when they really didn't even have a solid roof over their head or consistent food, and you can still see the liveliness in that carving. You can still see
Yeah,
that it's
still
got
need
a
that
lot of
outlet
life
for
in it.
creativity,
Yeah,
even in those dire circumstances.
yeah, yeah. So it does underline how vital it is to all of us, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And
They
I
didn't
think,
have they didn't have Netflix to distract them.
yeah, right. When I was looking at going to school, there weren't any programs for things like digital sculpting. Um,
No.
and my major wasn't even really focused on sculpting, although I did an independent study with my dean for my last year when I knew I was going to go into miniature sculpting and I was trying to practice and learn that. And he gave me that space to practice. But there weren't programs for that when I was going to school.
Yeah, it's only
Now
been
I talk to
recently.
like,
Well, go ahead. Sorry.
oh, I was just gonna say now there's people like Herberto Martinez, and he teaches ZBrush classes, and that just amazes me.
Well, I remember when even just fantasy art and illustration was considered a bastard offshoot that wasn't worth any attention. And at that time, you look at some of the artists that were doing cover art and even some of the artists that were doing children's books, and they were among the top people in the world, but
Hmm.
you couldn't get a lot of respect out of academia at that point for them.
Yeah, I think with all of the new technology advancements we've made, a lot of that goes back to earning some respect in the art community, or in the fine
Yeah.
art community, I should say.
Well, and it's in front of people all the time now in a way it never has been before. And it's accepted. I mean, our whole little corner of the world, if you expand it out a little bit and look at the genre, the fantasy and science fiction genre is something everybody's familiar with, not just a small segment of the population. And I think that's helped draw a lot of us into the light, kind of.
Yeah. What? So, are you? I want to know a little bit more about your technique for non-metallic metals, Michael,
Hmm.
because I really like this effect you're getting on the rim of the shield.
Yeah, it looks
Are
great.
you trying to make it cohesive, like where the highlights are with the center um, design?
Yes, kind of,
Okay.
maybe a little bit.
Can you lift that
It
up to
goes
the camera a little bit, Michael?
it goes back and forth. To be honest with you, the whole for me, let's see, am I going the right way? NMM for me is
There
more.
we go.
It's a long process. So the closer you get, of course, is the rougher it looks. And so you'll see there is a highlight stream that's going across here. And there's another one. This one isn't really working right now. This one isn't tying together, really. I have this one probably too far to the left, and it's probably a little bit more to the right. Um, I like it better there. So I got to clean that up a little bit, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to move this one here. So I guess it's more of a back and forth process. I will work like this is a shield, of course, obviously, but I'll work the entire piece as I'm going with it, and then I'll start refining the NMM. I can't, for me, I just can't do, okay, I'm going to do the whole rim of the shield gold NMM, and then I'll come back and then I'll do the center. I try to work everything so I can try to work it through. And what we'll end up seeing is right now the purple inside here doesn't have any NMM kind of light source going through any diagonals. It will. It's just I got to figure out where everything else is first, and then I can fix that. But I wanted to at least get a sense where everything is. So it's definitely a back and forth kind of process. So yeah, it's just kind of this shield is a Reaper miniature that's been out for a long time. It's a project that I'm doing for myself, a little kind of secret project. Not secret for anybody else, but just a personal project kind of thing. So I will I might most likely will end up being, hopefully, if it gets done and goes far enough, it'll be maybe a ReaperCon entry. We'll see, and let's go from there. So, but I wanted to work on the shield today because I haven't worked on anything like this on the show for quite a while. So, thanks.
So when you're initially mapping this out, you're thinking
Uh,
of the overall light source for the figure
mm-hmm.
and then
And
how
I'm
that would
thinking,
bounce.
yeah, how that would bounce, and then join areas joining in from the plane of the lighting coming. What's the best way to, how, the way the shield's going to be held, the shield's going to be not straight, it'll probably be at a little bit of an angle, so that makes sense with kind of the way the lighting is. And then I will focus, as you'll see, the highlights in this on the cross of the shield first, and then I'll take those out to the edging, because the more important part of the shield is the cross, right? That's what everybody's going to look at first, and then I will make, hopefully, the rest of the uh, highlights of, like in here, read better with the diagonals. And they don't all have to translate exactly in the same plane due to curvatures and whatever of the shield. It'll throw off the light a little bit and be not quite as focused. I'll probably have a higher focus on the cross itself from a highlight standpoint, just because I would want more emphasis too. So for me, at least, and then I'll have, even though the shield has these blue kind of swirlies and stuff, textures and stuff in that, just seeing it like this, it's like, why is he putting these swirlies in here? It'll make more sense when you see the complete figure. I have swirlies everywhere else on the figure itself. So, but yeah, it just all ties together, and it's one of these. I think for me, I know Rhonda and other folks will paint general areas, and she's kind of broken off of that a little bit. I see folks that just paint this area and then this area. I've never been able to do that, to be honest with you. I either get bored or get distracted, or want to see what the other piece part looks like. I'm sure it's like with you guys sculpting. You have to have the whole piece be coming together, and then you'll go, okay, now I need to make a little pouch, and that's fine. You can add the pouch, but don't you need like that figure to be really close to being complete, or 80 or 90% complete
Oh, yeah.
figure wise, not, and then you add accessories at that point. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I try to work everything. I mean, I guess the same approach painting big to small, m-
Mm-hmm.
more less polygons to more polygons,
Yep. And then there's always that final step to make sure it can be produced or printed
Right.
or whatever. And
One of the
sometimes that involves adding another little pouch or twisting an arm in a way that you weren't necessarily anticipating or something like that. But that's kind of
one
like
of
the
the
very
things that
end
I
process.
started one of the things I started doing that I've learned from printing so much now is after I finish a piece, I'll take like a really big rectangle and I'll tilt it backwards about 25-degree angle and I'll make that a negative uh, boolean, live
Uh-huh.
boolean, and then I'll run that vertically all the way up through the model, basically like a slicer when
Right.
you're slicing. And I'll look for any areas that are either too thin or too weak, or that I could eliminate the need for a support or something like that. Just as one of my final, polishing steps. And I
Right.
found
That's
that
a
it
great
really
tip.
helps eliminate a lot of support damage. And I've approached sculpting for printing differently after doing this for 10, 20 models now.
Oh, that's a great tip. Do you find that your approach to your own printing is different from some of the printers you work for commercially?
Um, Kind of. I think right now we're a little bit lucky that people are generally using the Sonic Mini 4K, whether
Right.
they're printing at home or they're printing for professional masters and stuff, they're all kind of using that printer right now, which makes
Yep.
it a little easier to accommodate for because I can have one in my living room and I can print exactly what they're going to print. But I think as technology develops and you start getting a lot of various different printers, that will become more challenging.
That's
I know they're
true.
coming out with the new 8K.
Yeah, I'm anxious. Mine should be here near the start of the year. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I pre-ordered it, but
Oh,
I'm a little nervous about the pre-order because the
Yeah.
first runs of those generally don't go well.
You order it and then you bless it and let it go, because if you go back and read the groups about it, you just feel like, oh no, I didn't want to get involved in that at all. No, don't read any of
That's
the
like
comments later.
I always let Bobby do the ZBrush updates like 3 months before I do it, so he
Yep.
can tell me all
Yep.
the problems.
Yeah, we're always juggling around with the with the updates, because no one really wants to be the first one,
Right,
and you don't want to do it in the middle of a production. You kind of want to do
right.
it when you have a little bit of a lull, because you never know what you might have to contend with. And then they
Yeah, you
usually
don't want to
tighten
miss
it
a
up.
deadline.
Yeah, they usually tighten it up in the next tweak.
Yeah, it's a little bit anxiety inducing every time you update.
Yeah, especially when they change stuff. I mean, completely change stuff, or put in a different place, or they're getting better about not doing that. So I have to appreciate that now.
um,
Oh, geez.
here's yeah, D. I think I'm D Sparrow is asking, hey, what do you got? Some other hair folk in the queue?
Um, I did do another one, uh, which I guess will be for a future undetermined release date at some point. But I was really, really excited that Ron asked me to do the hair folk because it was one of those I get to decide what these are going to look like in Reaper's
Neat.
line because there weren't, a lot of hair folk already that exist. And now that they're a playable race, they sort of have to take on a more medium adventure size. So that was really exciting and also intimidating, right? You don't want to get it wrong, but they were
Justin,
really
do we
fun
have
to
a
use to work
picture of
on.
the hair folk?
No, unless that's the one you sent me.
I sent you two, I thought.
Okay, yeah, let me pull those up. No,
But
you
make
did
sure
send me
it's
two, but I
yeah.
got you. I need half a second, and then we'll be put up.
I believe the one I saw Daryl had painted. Is that correct?
Yeah, the one
Yes.
that Reaper posted on Facebook, I think Daryl did.
There we go. That's wonderful.
Yeah, Daryl did a great job. Fantastic job.
Yeah, so cute.
And you designed that as well?
Yeah. I think that one of the benefits to working with Ron is that we can sort of spitball verbal ideas and requires less finished concept art before jumping
I
into a
don't.
project.
I don't care, CVP. Just make it look cool. Just make it cool.
Yeah, pretty much. Just make it look
Yeah.
cool. You can do it.
Just make it look cool. Yeah.
I just want it
That was my
cute.
Ron.
I just want it
Yeah.
sexy. There you go.
And that's the miniature for December, right? That's the bonus miniature for December. Is that how you call it?
Yeah.
Oh,
So if
I'm
you
sure
make an
Reaper
order in
John will
December,
correct us.
starting tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, that's the
I think if
Bones
it's
Black.
$40 or more, then you get that one. If
Yeah.
it's $60 or more, you get the Christmas pack. Is that right?
Yeah, it's on there. It's on there somewhere. But
And then the
yeah, I think
Christmas
the
pack
hair
has the
folk is the
gingerbread
miniature
guy.
for December. Season notwithstanding on that one.
Yeah, you'd think maybe they'd release that one at Easter or something.
Well,
What's
you
up?
said you had another one in the can.
Yeah, that's what they're saving that one for.
Or maybe there'll even be another one for Easter. Who knows?
I think one of the fun things will be to see the other sculptors take that on, right? Like I approach that in one way and I problem solve in one direction, but when Bobby goes to do a hair folk or you go to sculpt a hair folk, you're bringing your own problem solving skills to it. And I think that's really when it's cool to see the same subject tackled by multiple artists.
Yeah, we've tried to do that sort of a few times, long time ago. It'd be fun to do that again. I don't know. I don't know what mechanism we could use it. How we could do it, but I think it could be a great project anyway.
Oh, like I was actually just talking about your Sophie, your shipwreck Sophie that you did for ReaperCon this year. It's a great figure,
Thanks.
but it's really fun to see all the different sculptors take on Sophie and her various incarnations.
Yeah, yeah, if you line them all up, there's some really neat stuff in there. And you're right, you can really see the differences and the similarities. Even if they're all off Izzy's art, or a lot of them are off Izzy's art. I mean, we all put our different spin on it.
Yeah.
That is interesting because you can see in him over the years, you can definitely see Izzy's art influence in all of them, but you can see, oh yeah, Bob did this one, or Julie did this one, or Jason did this one, Gene, and everybody takes Izzy's art and translates it in their own voice, which is really cool. That's a neat figure to see redone every year and reimagined for the theme of the con. There's been some great Sophies over the years.
Right. And the nice thing there is we get to use it as concept art. It's not necessarily control art. Control art is when you're working for someone that it has to absolutely be perfect, right? So
Yeah.
that maybe the distance between the pupils has to be exact, or the distance between the bridge of the nose and the tip of the ear has to be exact. And uh, those are very interesting projects to try to attempt, but uh, they don't, as a sculptor. I mean, obviously, you don't get the same level of freedom with that. A lot of times, you get paid quite a bit to do it, but you have to hit every mark dead on.
Yeah, I've
Are
never had to
there
do a project like that, but it sounds stressful.
that was where I was going to go with that question. Is there any projects like that, Jason, where you've gone, wow, I I don't want to spend that much time for the money that's being offered to do that, and you walked away from it because it'd be too much? Does that make sense?
Not yet. There's been a few that, in retrospect, I wish I would have walked away because you get the contract, the money looks super. I mean, the money just is very seductive. And then at the end of the contract, you look around and you go, man, with all the revisions and everything else I did, I think, I think I was lucky to get $3 or $4 an hour by the time it was done. And so, uh, definitely, I have a lot of respect for people that do art off of, or that do sculpture off of control art all the time, because I think that's a whole other set of disciplines.
Yeah.
Are you more likely to, not that you said you've never turned one down, but you are more likely to accept it now that it's digital and you can show works in progress to those types of
That helps.
clients?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that helps. I'm not a big one on works in progress, but
What about you, Christine? Do you show works in progress? Maybe not so much to Ron per se, but to other clients?
Well, I think it really depends on the art director that you're working with, because there are some people that if it's not 95% finished, they can't see what it's going to look like.
right.
And it's just pretty much a waste of everyone's time sharing works in progress because they're like, yeah, I
Yeah.
guess, cool.
Did you
Say,
learn
now
that the
this
And
is
hard
then
a
there's
way,
work
other
in
people
Christine?
that,
progress. This is a
Yeah. Did
work
you
in
learn
yeah,
how?
progress. And they go, well, why
Yeah.
doesn't he have any shoes? It's like, well, because it's a work in progress. I haven't done the
because
shoes.
obviously it's going to have shoes eventually.
Right. No, I've even painting wise, even doing commission work painting wise, I've learned that what I call a work in progress, I will never show. It's the work in progress that I show to the prospective client is 80, 90 plus percent done. Then I'm showing them this, not 60% done. And they're like, ooh, this sucks.
Right.
This is not.
Yeah, you don't want to
So,
see
I
the
think it
sausage
takes
half
like,
made.
yeah.
it takes a little
Oh,
familiarity,
look
I
at
think. Like
this.
once you work with someone a few times,
Ah,
they Rhonda,
wow.
hey.
Hi.
How did this happen? I had no idea.
The
We
miracle of
wanted to add
technology.
a little surprise for Christine because of her wonderful gingerbread man and Rhonda's wonderful job on the
Oh my gosh,
gingerbread cake.
Rhonda.
Boom.
So amazing. I was so blown away. I
That's
was
some
like, he looks
that's
like
some
a real cookie. He's so cool.
some fantastic stippling, Rhonda.
He was super fun to paint.
Yeah.
I
What's the
even love,
blue
I think my
base?
favorite part is like the little faint red streak that she put as the candy cane starts to taper. It's perfect.
Do we have any other angles of this, Justin?
No, I just have this one.
That's the
Oh,
only angle I could find in a hurry. Um, yeah, that's one of the neatest things. I mean, the whole thing is such a neat sculpt, but one of the neatest things about it is the tapered bit to the candy
Agreed.
cane, because everybody's familiar with that pointy bit that you make as you're eating your way through the candy cane. And it becomes deadly wickedly sharp, and the
yeah.
stripes start to fade.
Stab you in the
And
eye.
Well, this is
Christine
kind of
captured
funny.
that in sculpture, and Rhonda managed to capture it perfectly in the painted version.
I was looking for picture examples of candy canes like that online, and the one I found was on an article about how they don't allow prisoners to have candy canes because basically it's a shank when you do that. So,
Yeah.
Really?
yep,
So they have to
Toothbrushes
get like
too.
the little round things, the bonbons. Poor
I
guys.
guess. Yeah, this is very true to
Yeah.
life what Christine imagined here.
Yeah.
So was there a concept art for this, Christine?
Um, yes, but the concept art that I did for this looked completely different. My initial idea was to just do like a regular human-sized knight, but with having gingerbread armor everywhere.
Hmm.
Wow, that
And
sounds
so
interesting.
having like the plates of different armor parts of the cookie.
Uh-oh.
I think we might
We had
have
a CVP
frozen up
freeze.
Christine.
So,
Well,
Rhonda, we'll wait for
Yes.
Christine to unfreeze. Why blue eyes?
Well, once I knew what the holiday colors were, I wanted to incorporate some of them.
Mhm.
And
And I thought the eye color should be different than the button color, so I needed something other than green. And there's the frosty blue is in the paint set, so I thought blue.
Nice tie-in. Nice cross-marketing there.
Well, I used Christmas wreath on the green and then holly berry on the red, among
cool.
very many other things.
And ginger cookie. Ginger.
I did not actually use ginger cookie. I wanted a yellower color because I went with a really dark cookie dough type of look.
That's a good color, though, the ginger cookie.
It is a good color. I just didn't happen to use it on this project.
No.
How did you come up with this gingerbread effect, Rhonda?
Well, I'd been experimenting with different brushes for dry brushing on my stream Beyond the Kit, and one of them is a brush specifically made for, it's like a dome shape, and you can stipple it instead of wiping it, essentially. So in the test, I'd seen it all stipply like that, and then I like a good spicy gingerbread cookie that's got lots of, little spice stipples in it. So I thought, well, hey, I can try those brushes out on a real project. It was refined a little bit with a fine point brush, but the bulk of that was done with this weird stipple dry brush dome thing that the kids are using these days, apparently.
Yeah, those kids.
I'm seeing Christine blinking
those
again.
Millennial
so,
painters.
Oh, yep, she's back.
I'm back. So are you?
We were just talking about how Rhonda achieved the stippled look.
Have you thought of other uses for that brush now that you've used it for this? Do you think like, oh, this would be great for blah blah blah?
I'm wondering. A couple years ago, I did like a fancy stipple cloak the hard way, and I'm wondering if it would mostly work to do it with the brush. And it'd be great for terrain and stuff. I don't paint that kind of thing a lot, but bases, things like that. I think depending on how you use it, you could maybe get a smoother effect, but I wanted the stippling for this, so I made the
it's very effective.
Steps in between the colors further apart.
Yeah, it's very effective. There's a artist, he's got a Patreon page, Bohan or something. He does a lot of the stippling stuff, and he does just such a finite, awesome result. It's just amazing to see.
His work is always been amazing.
Patreon. Yeah.
He uses those brushes now. He was using makeup brushes before, but he uses those brushes.
Yeah. Yeah, if you guys just have some extra time to kill and subscribe to his Patreon, at least for a little while, and check out his stuff. I did for a short period of time. Like, wow, that's really impressive. Some nice stuff.
He does a lot of freehand too, I think, doesn't he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's why I bring up a little Patreon is Chris CVP. Rhonda, you've got your Patreon that you've been doing for a while. But CVP is you're going to be starting up your own sort of Patreon. You want to talk about it a little bit?
Yeah. So my mini factory is going to offer their subscription service, which is basically their answer to Patreon. And they're calling it Tribes. And so I will be starting a Tribes December. We're hoping to go live on the 15th. And cool. I'll just be sharing like my concept art and talking through character design and sharing, all the things that I know and that I've learned. And that's a way that I can sort of format it and package it for people. And then obviously monthly releases of new figures.
So
it becomes kind of a one-stop shop then.
Yeah.
So this will be like an additional level. If they're just in for the STL files, they can buy in for additional content, or will this be content added into existing, or how do you plan on structuring that?
I think we're going to do like just the STLs, or you can do higher tiers for like STLs plus all the concept art and background information. And then we this month we're releasing, for December, we're going to do like a Nutcracker themed set, which I'm super excited about. And I'm having a writer do an adventure, like a short module to go with the figures,
Oh,
which I just
cool.
thought would be like a fun seasonal thing because I love seasonal D&D games. But if
Mhm.
it goes well, then we can add that more permanently to the tribes. If that's a thing that people like, then we can add that as like a higher tier with just having the figures and the module.
That's a great idea.
That's cool.
That sounds pretty
That's
cool.
cool. And so that is on. Let's do a pub, another pub for you. That's on My
Oh
Mini
yeah,
Factory.
my mini factory.
Okay. And it's My Mini Factory is your thing. I've never, or is that a different? You
It
created
is.
My Mini
It's a
Factory?
no. It's a
No, it's a
platform
platform.
for STL.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool.
I just
I
posted the
didn't know
link
that.
in the chat.
Nice.
That's
It's
the
it's
link to
Moonlight
my
Minis
personal
on.
shop.
Isn't it Moonlight Minis on My
Yes,
Mini
Moonlight
Factory?
Minis is my company, and that's the store page on my Mini Factory's website.
Well, how much work you have? This is like a lot of work that you're doing, and you're still sculpting and
Yeah,
painting and everything. You got Kyle busy doing this shit, or I mean, how much is he helping you out?
yeah, he does most of my
All right. Keep
like
Kyle
all
busy.
the
He needs to
PR
be working hard.
stuff.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
slices all of my SPLs for test printing. He
Mm-hmm.
does support work for me when I need it. And obviously he's my built-in art critic, so he goes over all of my models and rips them apart and tells me all the things that have to be fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's
Cool.
invaluable. I could not do any of this without him for sure.
Well, the other thing we haven't touched on yet, and I want to make sure we don't miss it, is you are a streamer as well.
Yeah, we started streaming on Tuesdays and Fridays, 1 to
Mm-hmm.
3 Central Standard Time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just sculpting stuff. It's only my personal stuff. I'm not sculpting like Reaper stuff or other companies that I work for, just my personal stuff. But all my Moonlight minis are getting sculpted live on there and you can watch. And I talk about why I'm making the decisions I'm making and what went into the design process and watch it sort of all come together.
And how long have you been doing it now? A month or so?
Yeah, I think we just finished our 8th or 9th stream, something like that.
Okay, so what have you learned from stream 1 to stream 8? Because I know it was a huge learning curve for me starting this goofy show, let alone doing the massive demonstrations that you are, and I'm sure Rhonda can attest to that as well. What are some of your big takeaways maybe for folks that want to start up their own streaming and doing demonstrations and whatnot?
I think it's super difficult to engage with the audience and like keep track of chat and notifications and stuff while staying focused on the project. And I've really had to try to force myself to both think about critically what I'm doing while also kind of just talking all the time. Just
Right.
not natural for me.
Now, is this
That's
during
probably the
your
biggest learning
normal?
curve.
Is it taking away from your norm? Because you're probably not as productive as you would have been if you're just not streaming, not having the talk, just sculpting away, right?
I find that actually I am the same amount of productive if I'm streaming at a certain uh, part of the process. Like if
Hmm.
I've already done the blocking out stuff and I'm just refining things and I've already done a lot of the critical thinking for building, then I can sort of zone out and talk while I'm refining stuff and I'm just as productive on the stream at that point than I am off stream. But yeah, so different parts of the sculpting process are more difficult to stream.
Thanks, Rings. The other thing, so that it leads me to another question, and this is what I've kind of done. You'll never see me on the show start a miniature from scratch. I'm usually fairly far along in it. Because I think one of the most boring things to watch is somebody base coat something. I want to show maybe a step or two further down, especially the format of this show. It sounds
Yeah.
like you're kind of doing the same thing. You've got this miniature to level X, and now you're able to kind of like you zone out and do the little fine tuning stuff as well.
Yeah, I think that's easier. I do try to show the building process because I think my building process is very, very different than other miniature sculptors.
Uh-huh.
Where I sculpt everything in pose already, and I use a Z-sphere rig for my basic anatomy for my characters, which I think that's an antiquated thing. Most sculptors don't do that, but that's how I think best. That's how I work best. So I think I still try to show that part because I feel like that's a unique thing about the way that I
Yeah.
sculpt or approach it than other people.
I
But
tend not to use the rig, but I do sculpt in pose now. I didn't when I
oh yeah,
started. Yeah, but sculpting in pose now seems to make a lot more sense.
it does make later reposes more challenging. If you
Yeah.
were, I basically have to start over if I'm doing a
Uh,
repose.
yeah, I guess the way I look at that though is if I've saved my iterations at the correct place and you want to come back, you can repose fairly easily.
Yeah.
Especially if you're saving your little subtools and bits as different pieces. I mean, but you're right. I mean, everybody's got a really different way of approaching it. That would be a fun thing to show sometime too, is everybody's process next to everything. And I don't know. It'd be a free for all, I think.
Yeah,
It would be really crazy.
that'd be cool. Do we have any
So
other
how do we
photos or
get?
anything, Justin?
I was wondering how I would get one of these gingerbread men.
Oh, I think it's with
$40
No, $60.
starting
I think it's
tomorrow.
60.
$60.
Oh, yeah, the rabbit's at 40. Do you get if you get 60, do you get the rabbit and the gingerbread man?
And
Well,
one of the 12
gingerbread
days.
I would think so.
person comes with
Wow.
the whole Christmas sampler, doesn't it? Or am I wrong?
Yeah, the gingerbread night
Yeah.
is in the Christmas sampler, and there are 2 paints and candy if Ed hasn't eaten it.
Okay.
Okay.
For those that
Well, I'd
missed the
rather
very
have the
beginning
stuff
of the
Ed hasn't
show,
eaten or licked or anything.
yeah. For those that missed the beginning of the show, we were talking about Christine's this figure right here, her bust figure, which is an excellent, so much character, great painting eyes, right, Rhonda?
Yes.
Yes.
And her name is?
No, I love it. It's a great figure. The
Yeah.
color selection is nice. The focus on the face.
Now, is this painted or is this digitally painted?
That's poly painted. So that's just
Poly.
a screenshot basically from
Cheater.
while I was working on it. But it was a really good way to
Cheater.
test out colors
Blasphemy. Blasphemy.
before I painted it for real. I went through a bunch of
Yeah.
iterations of colors because I really wasn't sure.
Yeah.
And is this
whatever.
Lunette? Is that right?
Yes, this is my mascot character for my company, Moonlight Minis, and she is a moth girl named
A
Lunette.
moth girl.
She's got the little
I
moth
get it.
antenna.
Yeah. Whereas does she have moth wings or no?
No, I did not give her wings, mostly for 2 reasons. It becomes very difficult for posing and various costume changes to try to work around wings, and I dislike sculpting wings.
There you go. Is it what's the tie into her coming out of a book?
So the story here is that she is the caretaker and librarian for this magical library, and she sort of acts as the narrator, taking you in and out of these various stories. And the other miniatures that I've made for my company, like the Neverland Pirates and the Lost Boys, I'm working on a Wonderland set, Alice in Wonderland set, and all of those are based on literature and folklore and stuff that I've always loved. And yeah, so she sort of takes you, narrates you through the different fairy tales.
Well, I don't have very many painted miniatures from other folks. Justin, can you take down this photo for a second? But I have a Rhonda piece, but I'm very proud of this piece. It's um, a custom painted CVP sculpture
Ooh-wee,
and
look at that.
painted piece. Look at this. This was
In the
fantastic.
two best colors.
Yes. Oh,
I know, right?
are you kidding me? Christine painted this for me and gave this to me at ReaperCon, and I was very blown away and flattered. Yeah, see, there's a signature right there. Look at that. So thank you again. This is one of my little clever crow sculpts. I've had Jason and Jean and Bobby and Kevin Williams and Michael Brower, and who am I missing?
Bob and
It's
Julie?
Bob and Julie. Bob and Julie did the crow's nest Poke Tool.
Yes.
So yeah. So everyone has contributed into the whole crow's nest theme. So this is fantastic. Yeah.
I
So
was
thank you
super
again.
honored when you asked me. I think I
Well,
ended up just feverishly working through it all day because I was so excited.
we've told this story before. I want to tell it again. So I don't know how it started. I think I may have just messaged you saying, "Hey, would you be interested?" And maybe I did it in the morning. I had concept art in like an hour or so right afterwards. Here's concept art. And Rhonda, it was like realized concept art. It wasn't just a
Wow.
pencil sketch. It was like, I was like, that's awesome. Let's do that. And then like a couple hours later, here you go. And here's the digital skull. I'm like, holy shit. She goes, what can I do differently? I'm like, I don't know. This was so fast. I mean, golly. But we tweaked a couple of things, little feathers or whatever, but it was, so much personality, so much fun stuff. So yeah, I give away a few at ReaperCon. So you see me and I've got one. I may figure out a way to get you one. Or maybe at some point we do a giveaway on the show or something too.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. So, and your Lunette got a gold at ReaperCon, right?
She did, yes, for the open division.
For the open division. Yeah.
That was
That's
really,
awesome.
really cool. Because
So hey Bryce, hey
you can't win
Aaron.
a Sophie, but gold was such an honor. Yeah.
Well, you have a Sophie though, right?
I do. I have 3.
3 Sophies. How many Sophies you have, Jason?
0.
Really? You don't have any Sophies?
No, only the one I sculpted.
But he sculpted a Sophie, so he's got his whole beat.
Yep.
And
No,
I think
really
Rhonda and I are beat for the
have
forever.
only ever entered the painting competition, I think 2 or 3 times. So it's not my strongest forte, and I tend to paint things that I've sculpted digitally or manipulated digitally of other sculpts. So I'm just happy to participate and get a medal, to be honest with you.
Here's another CVP sculpt. I think
so this is one of those
small side.
98% work in progress here. But
okay.
The story here is that she's not supposed to be in Christmas Village. And so she stole an elf's clothes so that she could go tamper with the naughty list and blend in.
Because the moth ears wouldn't give it away or anything. The antenna, I should say. Yeah.
Well, it's a Christmas village. Who knows what's in a Christmas village?
Yeah, they're all hopped up on eggnog. So
that one's actually I'm experimenting with this one because I'm gonna make it a full figure, and then I'm gonna make it a bust also. And re-sculpt the scroll so that it goes in front of the plinth when I do the plinth for it.
Oh, that sounds cool.
That's a great
I'm
idea.
experimenting with that to see if I can make a cool bust and a cool figure.
Are these all 28, 30 millimeter, or have you explored larger scales? Or
she is the bust obviously was much bigger, but standard figure, she's the same Reaper scale, like 33, 34 millimeters to the eyes.
Scale creep. Rhonda and I appreciate the scale creep. Keep
Yes, we
creeping.
do. The
Yeah.
age creep needs the scale creep.
Yeah,
Yes,
you guys are the
exactly.
ones that are
Exactly.
calling for it most of the time.
Yeah, tell me
don't
about
put
it.
it on us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get it all the time.
No,
Rhonda says this should be
I'm
a lot bigger. Michael says this should be bigger. So
I
no.
don't think
Well,
so.
I would like to be honest with you. There's so many great figures that you guys do that I would love to see in 54s, or
yeah.
at minimum 54. It'd be just
Well,
great to see.
that there may be an option in the future for something like that.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Don't wanna
See
say
everyone
too
in
much.
chat. Bigger is better, says Aaron. Rings minis need to be in 72 millimeter. Yeah. It's
They do, except that so much of our stuff is also used on the tabletop. So
true.
there's it's
Well,
hard to
just
put a
both.
lot of 54s on a tabletop.
Just do both.
Okay.
I think I'm back now. Sorry.
America needs bigger tabletops, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, America. Ah,
Oh,
look at
there we
these are
go.
cool.
Oh, those are fun.
Yeah. So
That
try
was
to
the set
guess,
that we released
Rhonda.
this month.
Guess the appliance in each figure, Rhonda.
What?
There's an appliance associated.
There's an
She
appliance
said
in each
earlier.
figure.
Yeah. Well, the one in the back, I think, is pretty obvious. The one on the
TV.
right.
This
Oh,
is a
right
good
way.
this is a
Yeah.
good week for that, because if you go by canon, this
Uh-huh.
week is when George Jetson is conceived.
Oh.
Wow.
How do you know that?
That's
I don't know.
some of the
Just
most
stuff sticks in
useless
my head.
information I've ever heard. But that's good.
Mental
'Cause he was
note
born
not
on,
to play
like,
Trivial
August
Pursuit with
22nd,
Jason.
I think. Something like August 22nd, somewhere in there.
There's some really nice NMM going on here. It's some fantastic NMM going on right here.
Yeah, I'm
The
excited.
computers are good at NMM.
Huh?
Unlike
Yeah.
people. So
Computers
computers are
really
good at NMM, unlike people.
Yeah, they are.
So tell us the appliances.
So the one on the left, Jetta, she is based on a toaster. She has
Yep.
like a dial and two little pushy down levers on the back of her head.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna avoid that one, but go ahead.
Yeah, just leave that alone.
I'm gonna leave that one alone.
And then Roxy in the middle, she was based on like a car radio. There's a lot of automotive
Okay.
references in her design.
Okay, she's cool.
And then
They're both cool.
Stormer, it's not really an appliance, but I was looking at these multi-tools, like the screwdrivers that have all these different little like
Oh,
heads
yeah.
and pieces you could replace on top. And I thought that would be funny. She actually has an abacus as one of the things on her arm. Which that was late night design brain, and I was on my Discord while I was working on the concept art, and I put it in there, and I was just laughing hysterically, getting tired, and the people in the chat with me were like, "That has to stay to the final design," so it is still there.
Yeah. Stormer's a little on the scary side. Just saying.
She's sassy.
I love her hair, the way it printed. It looks so
Very,
cool once it's
very
printed.
much an assassin looking figure.
Yeah. She's cool. She could be Shocker too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would have been a good name too.
Mm-hmm. The Shocker.
Maybe not.
Anyways. You wouldn't be a crow's nest, at least if we went down those paths a couple of times. Yeah. No, I like the Earth Sky non-metal metal kind of look going on there, especially in the top halves of them. That's really neat. I like that painting thing. I wish I could make that happen for my miniatures. That's really good.
Yeah, that's just a cool ZBrush
I like
material.
the retro look. And I know it's not overdone, but there's a little retro stuff in there I like.
Oh yeah, the sword on Jetta is really cool too. It's fantastic. It's really nice. Yeah. So these are on your site. They're 50% off right now. Wow.
Yes.
Is there plans for more Femme bots in the future? Or?
Yes. I actually want to build out the set a little more and make like
Mhm.
the artificier who created them all.
Mhm.
Oh,
And so have like that character and then a couple more fembots and then maybe make some more gender neutral robot Warforged.
Mm.
Just more kind of trash can robots. I don't know,
Oh,
we'll
cool.
see.
Yeah.
I don't do a whole lot of
Yeah. You lost me down with the
sci-fi
gender
stuff.
neutral thing. The trash can made more sense to me. So okay, I caught up with you there. Yeah. That's cool. We got anything else? What else we got? Anything? That's
Um,
cool.
yeah, so yeah, next month or I guess tomorrow, December month, we're gonna be doing the Nutcracker themed figures. And I'm gonna do the Rat King and the Sugar Plum Fairy and the Nutcracker and then Drosselmeyer, who's like the guy who sort of starts it all out. He's like a inventor, toy maker.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
That'll be fun. And
Yeah.
those will be up tomorrow, or you're gonna start those tomorrow?
No, we are starting. Well, we started it today on stream. We started working on
Okay.
Drosselmeyer, but those will be coming out with my Tribes release on the 15th.
Fantastic.
Cool. Rhonda,
mm-hmm.
how was your Thanksgiving?
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Smoked turkey, I like
Second
that.
one she did.
Yeah. We butterfly.
No, we didn't really do Canadian Thanksgiving this year.
Oh
No.
no.
You're not Canadian anymore. You're American.
Did you move down here?
Yeah. She's lived down here forever, but she's a citizen.
Well, I know forever.
Oh.
Yeah, forever. As long as I've known you, that's forever.
Okay. I think I was 33 when I moved there.
So I guess you have to have Michael's imprimatur to be here.
Yeah.
Yes. Whatever that means.
That must
yeah.
keep him busy approving all of the new arrivals.
Doesn't start till Michael knows who you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you officially got citizenship recently?
Yeah, 3 or 4 years ago, I think.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. That's how my mind works.
Yeah. Yeah.
3 or 4 years ago. That's
It's a
recently.
whole
That's
thing.
recent. It's recent.
The
That seems
process.
recent anymore. So,
Yeah,
It might be 5 years,
Chris-
I'm not sure.
Christine, December's a big month for you. You've got the Reaper miniature exclusive. You've got the extra $60 miniature. You've got your Moonlight mini. It's not the Patreon, but you know what I mean. That thing going on. Your promotions going on with your crazy fembots. And there's a lot. And then not tomorrow, but Thursday, you'll be streaming again on Twitch. And what's your Twitch channel?
Oh, Friday. 1 to 3.
Oh, Friday, sorry.
And it's Moonlight minis.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, we'll have to.
Actually, I think Reaper John is gonna come join me and co-host. I think on Tuesday next week he's gonna come out.
Oh,
Fun.
he's gonna drive
That'll
down.
be fun. Oh no, God! I wish though. That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
We don't live that
Yeah.
far.
No, he should drive down, and he could co-host with you.
That's the new demand. If you want to co-host, you have to come drive to my house.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So, I don't know. What else you got, Jason?
I got nothing except we haven't even mentioned our Poke Tools.
Oh, shit. I totally spaced it. Poke Tools. Get your subs in. Every 3 subs gets a free Poke Tool. Sculpted by this side. Sculpted by Julie Guthrie. Backside. Lettered by Bob Adolphi. And yours will not have yellow green stuff on the back of it.
What a ripoff.
I know.
Well, we
here's
can
what
maybe put it on Christine's.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Christine gets a free one for being on the show, and Rhonda, you get another one for
yay.
being on the show if you want.
Oh,
Here's what they'll most likely
now
look
I
like
can have
when
mint in
they
package
come to you
one.
in the mail. So hashtag free. We're looking for some subs if you want to throw some subs out there. It's because our mistake for not promoting it earlier. So there's that. Now you distracted me, Jason. I was going to talk about something else, and I totally
Well,
forgot.
we really didn't want to promo it earlier. I mean, we
well,
had a
they could be
great guest,
subbing.
and we had a surprise guest, also great.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know.
that's,
Thanks to
I mean,
Jason.
Her
Pokey
paint
Tool's
Jason
wall
just
worked
a
makes
all
me
this
Pokey
stuff.
Tool.
happy.
It's just merchandising. We don't
Right.
need to
I don't
flog
want to give
that
away a
every
Pokey
time.
Tool. And I wanted to, for the painters out there and the sculptors too, have you guys watched Arcane on Netflix?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
L-
Apparently, I'm
I
behind
don't
time.
know anything about don't know anything about League of Legends. Never played, never whatever. But that series is awesome. And
Yeah,
the
I
art,
just let it wash over my brain. I don't know much about the story or anything, but
is
it's
so good.
wonderful to watch for sure.
Rhonda, watch it for the
Okay.
NMM Gold alone. What they do with all their
Wow.
characters, and a lot of
Okay.
them have these gold armor, and but the art style reminds me in a way of when Cartoon Network had the Star Wars. I can't think of the name of it. That's the original Star Wars series that was
Oh
on,
yeah,
not
I
the
didn't think
not the
about that, but
not the
you're
not
right.
the Tartakovsky one, but the next one. They were really well done. This is even to a better level. You could tell they were probably using some of their game designers or whatever for the graphics in fantastic animation, just wonderful. And I think it ties in a lot to how a lot of us like to paint miniatures too. It was really inspiring to me. So yeah, it was really great. Clone Wars. Yeah. Thanks, Clint. Yeah, it kind of reminded me a little bit of that, but even it's like Clone Wars on
Yeah, I hadn't
steroids.
made that connection, but I think you might be right.
I
Yeah,
started thinking of Borderlands, which was a game I played a long time ago, but Borderlands had a
Yep.
very similar comic booky style to it.
yeah. I just finished playing that again, Borderlands 3. It's fun.
It's a
It's
great
great
game.
writing. Yeah, it's great writing. It's great humor. My kind of humor in a lot of ways. But yeah, it's good. So, hey, Justin.
What's up?
All right. So how many subs we got?
Well, currently we have enough for 2 Poketools.
Let's give away 3 Poketools.
Let's give away 3. I will draw
All right.
the names right now.
Hi,
Fantastic.
Christine. Can you see chat up?
I can, yeah.
Oh, perfect. She gets to read the names.
She gets to read
Oh,
the
no.
names.
We'll make her, you know what? We'll even make Christine front and center while she does it.
Front and center.
Oh no.
But with
Oh,
Rhonda.
no.
With her
Ron-
wonderful
Rhonda can help.
me.
This is Christine with help from Rhonda.
Yeah.
All right, you guys
work on
ready?
the background next time, Christine.
Okay. First name.
Smallish Sam. Okay, that was an easy one. Good.
Second
That's a
second
great
name.
No Time for Bull.
And
Good
last
name.
but not least, this one's also kind of easy.
Eric _ Jackson.
Awesome. Hopefully, no relation to Bobby.
Hopefully.
Bobby
Hopefully,
_ Jackson.
for Eric's sake. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for Eric's almost certainly.
Yeah. Oh my God! Right?
Could you imagine being related to Jackson? Ooh.
No.
Well, there's
Rhonda,
more and
your
more
wall of
people every
colors.
day. It seems like you
There's more. There's,
have another grandchild.
oh
here
my
any-
God!
any
Yeah.
week now.
Well, he's from Alabama. What do you expect?
Oh.
There goes our
Shots
Alabama
fired.
viewership.
Yeah. 3 people drop off.
So, what about Peter? What about Peter Jackson? I bet Eric's related to Peter. Not Steve, though. Alrighty. So I want to thank our special guest, Christine Van Patten, CVP, Moonlight Minis, all the various avenues that she's there. I want to thank Rhonda for crashing our party today.
Yeah, that was wonderful, Rhonda. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, thanks
Happy
for
to
doing
be.
that. wonderful textures on the gingerbread man. Are you going to be showcasing that a little bit more on Beyond the Kit? What do you got coming up?
Yeah,
with
I've already
Beyond the
shown them
Kit?
off a few times
All right.
since I
What's
have
Beyond
him
the
in
Kit?
person.
Beyond the Kit.
That's my stream on Mondays.
Yeah. What are you doing next Monday?
That's a good question because there was a debate about this in the chat. So I'm probably going to start the mistletoe goblin since he's one of the 12 days. And my parents want me to paint another one for them. So.
Neat.
Bobby Jackson. Would Bobby sculpt that, or did Bob or Julie?
That was Julie, I think.
Julie.
I think it was Julie.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's 12 miniatures, right?
In the 12 days?
Yes, to clarify.
Yes.
Okay. Let's do this then. We'll put you on the spot, Rhonda. Let's see if you can paint 3 minis an episode from now till the end of December.
Wow.
No.
To gold level standards.
Yeah, that'll happen. No. People don't come to my channel for fast painting. That is not why they are there. If they are, they're in the wrong
Justin's
place.
out of his element here with that kind of demand.
It'll be like a Gordon
Christine
Ramsay
is right.
show.
It is hard to talk and think at the same time sometimes.
It is. That's why I like having
Almost
other
all the
people being
time
able
for
to
me.
talk. Yeah. Well, I would say that was a good show
I just
today.
gave up the thinking
Fantastic show.
Yeah. I'd say it was really good.
All right. Let me see who we're going to be rating.
Justin, you even did fine today. I mean, you did good. Sort of.
Justin
Oh, I will take those backhanded comments
well.
any day.
Those the bar's low, but it's good. You did good. Thanks.
Fantastic. Hey, we're going to be rating C. Bush, a professional, and he's definitely better at this whole streaming thing. So say hi to him for us.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure his producer's a lot smarter, too.
Oh, almost certainly. 100% smarter. But it looks like he's sculpting, I can't tell what it is, but it looks pretty insane. So
he's fantastic. He's a really good
he's
sculptor.
a really nice guy. He actually wanted to do a show for us. So one of these days when I get 5 minutes of my time and he has some time open, we're gonna talk to him about maybe doing a show.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Great crowd. Trash.
Oh, Trash is right. We got to get out of here.
Oh, why?
The Golden Corral Senior Discount Hour. It doesn't apply to me, but or I guess Christine.
They don't have one up here.
Or Rhonda. Really, it's just you two.
Well, I haven't been to Golden Corral since I lived in Texas.
Since Ron made us go? Is that the last time?
Yeah, Ron made us go that time, and I think I got sick.
Since you marathoned
I saw
Corral
in the
and
commercial
Chickadee.
they deliver food. Who would get food from Golden Corral?
How do you deliver a buffet?
Delivered. I mean, delivered. It's like, oh.
Okay, could you imagine that food cold? No offense to anyone who runs a Golden Corral. But,
we're just alienating people left and right on this show.
Do they bring all the hot trays and gravy boats in front of you, and you just
chocolate fountain? They gotta bring the chocolate
like
fountain.
a big roach coach used to be. Is that what it is?
On that note, thanks everyone for hanging out with us.
Later.
I guess we won't get
keep
Golden
being
Corral as
awesome.
A sponsor now.
We will. Yeah,
He's
they're
our
gone
guest
as a
next
sponsor. We'll have to cut that
I'm
contract
sorry,
short.
I didn't mean to blow that one.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we were wasn't working out with them anyway.
Okay, good.
Their food. You think their food's bad? Their marketing's even worse. Thank you guys very much. Have a great
They're
rest of your
accessible,
day.
though.
Also true.
The whole other orthopedic socks debacle.
Yeah.
Have a great night, folks.
You
We'll
put
see
your gravy
you
in
tomorrow.
there. Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks
You gotta
again.
wave.
Thanks, Rhonda, for jumping in.
Wave profusely,
Thanks
and
for
then
having me.
I'll make
Thanks,
it
Christine.
Yeah.
I'll make it last
Thanks
a
for
little
crashing.
longer, so it's awkward.
Thanks for crashing the party.
Just keep waving. Rhonda's not waving. We're not ending the show till everyone's waving at the same time. I don't see Jason. There's Jason's flail. Perfect.
No
Okay.
way.
Have a great night, everybody.
What is happening?